Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to the first training session of the Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom. Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom is a teacher training program by the Wikimedia Foundation, which seeks to train teachers to be able to use Wikipedia as a pedagogical tool in the classroom to develop the vital media and information literacy skills of their students. This program is in line with the UNESCO's Media and Information Literacy Framework. So I welcome you all to this training. My name is Abdul-Fatawu. I am a certified trainer of the Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom by the Wikimedia Foundation. I will be your facilitator for today's training session. I would also like to know the people that will be involved in the training. So we are required to use the chat session to indicate the school we are from, the class we teach, then the reason we are here, why, what brought you to this program, and then what you expect to learn in this program. Yes, as we all know, every program has to have an agenda like we do in our classrooms. When you are to teach, you need to have what you want to teach. It's the topic or the subject area you want to teach. So just like this program, we're going to have an agenda. So our agenda will be to introduce you to the classroom, the Wikipedia in the Classroom program. Then we'll talk about what Wikipedia is, then the misconceptions that are associated with Wikipedia. We'll have a quick break. Then when we come back, look at the values that Wikipedia brings into the classroom. We have questions and answers section, which I entreat each and every one of you to use the chat section to put out your questions, and then ask questions and then answers to questions that will arise during the training. We'll have a wrap up and final remarks. So I have managed to put out some principles that will guide us throughout the training. These principles are 5. I've considered 5 principles that will guide us throughout the training session. So, like I said, if you have any doubts, let's ask questions. Let's not keep it to ourselves. Let's participate actively. Let us not be passive participants. Let's listen with attention and respect. Then, let's all try to become supportive and respectful learning community. Yeah, for this one, it is a requirement for all of us, it's a must for all participants to complete our assignments on time. As we go on, there will be assignments coming up, and these assignments will be based on what we have learned today and what will be learned in our subsequent trainings. So we'll be looking at that session 1 of this training. And during this training, I've said it in my introduction that we'll be using the comment or chat section to communicate to each other. And remember to unmute yourself when you are to speak. You are required to raise up your hand to draw my attention before you speak. Let's all try to mute ourselves when you are not speaking to prevent unnecessary noise from disrupting our training session. Yes, there will be certificates given to participants at the end of the training. So just as we have principles, there is also requirements for the certificate. And these certificates will be given to people who participate in all the live training sessions. Then it doesn't stop there. You have to submit your assignments on time. And submit your final assignment by date. So let's ask, like I asked in the beginning, what brought us here? And I've seen a lot of interesting comments that shows that our training will be successful, judging from the comments I've received from you, the participants. So let's see what we'll be able to learn at the end of the training session. So participants will be able to understand the requirements of the reading Wikipedia in the classroom program. Then also to argue against general misconceptions about Wikipedia. Then we'll be able to express the merits of Wikipedia as a source of information. So let me ask this question. Why the reading Wikipedia in the classroom? Let me see. Why? Why do you think that we should have the reading Wikipedia in the classroom? Why? So feel free to use the chat section to give me your feedback. Yes, that's good. Okay, yeah. So yeah, just keep them coming. Keep them coming. So why the reading Wikipedia in the classroom? As some of us may be aware, our students are already using Wikipedia. Are we aware of that? And consuming information online to make decisions in their academic and personal lives. So as they are using it, when used critically, Wikipedia can be a valuable pedagogical tool to develop 21st century skills. That is to we, the teachers. So when we use Wikipedia critically, it can be a valuable pedagogical tool to develop 21st century skills. And this program will demonstrate how Wikipedia can be leveraged to foster media information literacy skills. Then this program, the reading Wikipedia in the classroom, is divided into 3 modules that cover the different elements and practices behind Wikipedia as they relate to UNESCO Media Information Literacy Framework. I indicated this in my introduction. The program is in line with the UNESCO Media and Information Literacy Framework. So let's look at the basics of the Wikipedia. Do you remember the first time you encountered Wikipedia? How did you find it? And what did you think of it? Let's use the chat section to give our comments on those questions. Okay, so we are now on to Wikipedia. So I would like us to, somebody should communicate to us on the chat section what Wikipedia, what do you understand by Wikipedia? Yes, Wikipedia, an online encyclopedia. Yes. Wikipedia where you get information. Okay, yes, interesting. Okay, that's good. Yeah, keep your comments coming. So one may ask, what is Wikipedia? Yes, like somebody rightly said, Wikipedia is an online encyclopedia. It was created on January 15, 2001. So it's a free online encyclopedia that strives to share the sum of all knowledge. So we'll get to know all this. Encyclopedia that strives to share the sum of all knowledge. Wikipedia covers everything around the world. Then it is written collaboratively by largely anonymous volunteers who write without pay from all over the world. So are we aware of this? Wikipedia is written by volunteers. Those who write Wikipedia articles, they are a group of volunteers all over the world, and they take no pay. So anyone with internet access can add content and improve Wikipedia articles. Then there are over 1.5 billion unique visitors monthly as of March 2020. Then over 54 million articles in more than 300 languages. It is not a finished project, it's always evolving. Yes, Wikipedia is not a finished project. Some people started it. Some people too have taken it up. And there are a lot of people that will also come to contribute. So that's basically what Wikipedia is. If you have questions regarding this, please feel free to use the chat section. Now, let's look at the misconceptions. Let's look at the misconceptions that we have about Wikipedia, or some people have about Wikipedia. So people have the notion that anyone can add their opinion to Wikipedia and claim it as a fact. I am telling you that this is not true. Opinions are not allowed on Wikipedia. Just like you come to the platform and just write something there and claim that it's a fact. You must back it with evidence, a reliable evident. So opinions are not allowed on Wikipedia. What is included is Wikipedia article should be backed by reliable secondary sources. If someone has content that doesn't follow this rule, it will be removed by Wikipedia. And I remember during my participation in the reading Wikipedia in the African Libraries program, we assign ourselves articles to edit. So I was to edit an article on forced marriages. So I did a research on forced marriages in Ghana. I came to a particular site which I can't remember. I just copied information there and then went and added it. The next day, I had a feedback that my comment has been removed. Do you know why? There was no reliable secondary source for what I put in there. So opinions are not accepted on Wikipedia. Then the other misconception is the editorial control of Wikipedia is left-leaning, progressive, and liberal. Yes, this is also not true. No single organization has editorial control over Wikipedia. Wikipedia is entirely edited by volunteers and disputes are addressed through open dialogue on the platform. Yes, just like I said, my contribution to that article was removed. I had a message from the person who removed it to provide that secondary source or reliable source that I got the information. Then as I was not responding, it was removed. So it is not, the Wikipedia is entirely edited by volunteers and disputes are addressed through open dialogue on the platform. Yes. Okay. So another misconception is edits done to Wikipedia article cannot be reversed. This is not true. Wikipedia articles are dynamic and continuously improved. New edits can be deleted or reversed, and old edits can be restored if necessary. Then, Wikipedia makes students lazy. They are more likely to commit plagiarism. This is also not true in the sense that when properly introduced and explained, Wikipedia actually empowers students to do self-directed research using the encyclopedia as a starting point. It can facilitate the development of key 21st century skills that prevents students from committing plagiarism. So let's take a short break. Okay, welcome back once again from the short break. I hope we have had a chance to stretch out ourselves and then take some refreshments. So we were talking about the value of Wikipedia in the classroom. The value of Wikipedia in the classroom. What do you think are the value or is the value of Wikipedia in the classroom? Please use the chat section to communicate. Okay. So let's see. Can our students use Wikipedia? What should they always keep in mind? What should the students always keep in mind when using Wikipedia? Let's use the chat section to answer those questions. If your students can use Wikipedia, let's know if they can use, and then let's know when they use it, what do you think they should keep in mind? Okay, the value of Wikipedia in the classroom. Wikipedia cites reliable sources. So as was said in the misconceptions, opinions are not accepted on Wikipedia. So Wikipedia cites reliable sources. So Wikipedia editors, they identify, evaluate, and cite reliable sources that enrich the article. So for anything to be accepted on Wikipedia, you have to identify it, evaluate, and cite the reliable source that enrich the article. You can't just come and put something there and expect it to be accepted as the truth. The Wikipedia strives to be unbiased. Wikipedia doesn't discriminate. It is edited by both sides of argument. And Wikipedia is up to date. So yes, Wikipedia, because it has more editors than any other information source. Wikipedia has more editors than any other information source. You can imagine editors from all over the world. An article can be started in Ghana, and then you have editors from other parts of the world contributing and then citing reliable sources just to enrich the article for consumption. So Wikipedia is already being used by educators around the world to foster digital skills, critical thinking, research skills, and enrich a variety of learning objectives in formal and informal education initiatives. So let's review some of the questions we got on the comments and add more questions. Keep this conversation going. I like the energy we are attaching to this program. Let's keep it up. Okay. Let's do a quick recap of some of the topics we learned about today. So you are required to read the following statement and write your answer in the comment section. So I hope we are ready. Question number 1. The reading Wikipedia in the classroom program contains 5 learning modules. Is it true or false? Yes. Interesting answers. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay. Good. Question 2. There are Wikipedia articles written by volunteers from. Yes. Oh, I am so happy. I am so happy. Yeah. We are really active participants. Yes. Question number 3. If I add my personal opinions to a Wikipedia article without citing any source, it will stay on Wikipedia forever. True or false? A. Oh, great. Yes, 4th question. When properly introduced and explained, Wikipedia can facilitate the development of key 21st century skills. True or false? Yes. Okay. Thank you for making it to this training. I am so happy for the energy from all the participants, especially the lady teachers. I am so overwhelmed. Thank you once again for making time to participate in the first session. See you next time for the next session of the Radio Wikipedia in the classroom. Thank you so much and goodbye.